morning, millennials. Welcome back to the Morning Toast. We've made it to Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Yeah, that's right. It's motherfucking Friday, bitches, and we did it.
We did it. Another whole week in the can.
It's so rewarding. And you know what? And I said this a few weeks ago, but there's so much ahead of us. And before we know it, it's going to be Monday morning.
Right. So there will never be as much weekend as there is right now. Appreciate it. Alarm-free living. Let's get after it, guys.
Let's get the fuck after it. Hope everyone had an amazing Thursday. We have an unbelievable show for you guys today.
We have so much to talk about today. I am so excited to get into it.
We got the Fast Five. We have a TV recap segment where we're going to be recapping our first Toast movie of the week for the month of February, which is honoring Black History Month, where we watched The Butler.
The most amazing movie.
I didn't know I was going to be watching the best movie I ever saw. I just didn't know that at all. And so powerful, so emotional, but also funny. It was the whole package. So I cannot wait to dive into that. And we also have Southern Charm. So I didn't watch it because I was busy getting drunk, celebrating being a New York Times bestseller. And as of this morning, a Publishers Weekly, a Wall Street Journal, and a... what's the other one?
USA Today?
USA Today, and also 2 major lists in Canada. So I think I can officially call myself an international best-selling author.
International, 100%.
So I was just busy, but I want you to tell me all about what happened on Southern Charm because you said it was unbelievable.
I don't know if it was just me being in a good place to watch a Southern Charm reunion, but I thought that it was one of the best reunion episodes I've ever watched of anything. There was not 1 minute, 1 word wasted. I actually, usually when I come back from commercials, I fast forward. If I miss, a 30 seconds in the beginning,
right,
no big deal. But I literally backed it up back to the commercial so I could see if there was any dialogue in between. I just thought it was so good. Let me know if you agree with me. I just felt all the conversations, they were obviously it was part 2, so it was all the biggest conversations of the season, and there was a lot about Madison and Austin, a lot about Catherine, and I just thought that it was so good, entertaining, interesting, full circle, just so good.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it in the TV recap.
Yes.
But before we dive in, how was your evening? I had an unbelievable evening.
My evening was so good, mostly because I watched The Butler starting at around, I want to say 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock.
Sunset, nice.
Sunset, and I was just enraptured by this movie. And it really set the tone for the rest of my evening, where I was in my feelings and just feeling everything.
I know.
But it was a good feeling too. And I don't know, I definitely just cultivated a vibe without really realizing it.
That is the best type of vibe. It's the organic vibe.
And also I had to get a wax yesterday, which I was so dreading. I was just dreading the pain more than ever. And so to be post-wax, to be the furthest away from ever needing a wax, I was just in a really good mental health space.
Bliss. Well, I ventured to Jersey City last night to go to the movies. I don't think this is a big deal for most people because AMC at their theaters around the country are letting you rent a theater in COVID for $100, a whole theater. So I literally went with a couple of Ben's friends because they were celebrating one of his birthdays. So it was 10 people. And we watched School of Rock, which was, I don't know who chose the movie. I think it was the birthday boy. The best selection ever. And no one was in the theater. So everyone was dancing at the end, just banging their heads. It was so fun. The concession stand was fully open. I had pretzel bites, pizza, popcorn, Diet Coke. They were out of chicken fingers, which was really fucking annoying. But it was just the full movie experience, and even better because no one was in the theater.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Was the Legend of the Rent way hardcore?
Way hardcore. And as I sat there drinking, I smuggled in some tequila. As I sat there drinking, I thought, I cannot believe this man did not win an Oscar or a Nobel Peace Prize for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
The way he just gives it all to this character.
He gave it all to School of Rock.
The thing is that I think that Jack Black himself is probably very similar to Dewey Finn. Not Ned Schneebly. You get confused. You think that's his name, but he was pretending to be Ned Schneebly. I think as a person, they probably are very similar, just love to dance and jam. So I don't think it was that hard for him because he loves to pop and lock and jam and break. But I just couldn't believe we did not recognize this performance as an Oscar-worthy performance.
Yeah, the Oscars get it so wrong sometimes.
So wrong. And talk about a star-studded cast. Miranda Cosgrove, Joan Cusack.
Yes.
Sickening.
Sarah Silverman.
She plays this really naggy girlfriend. Ugh, she's the worst in that movie.
Yeah.
Every time she shows up, it's ugh, the killjoy is here.
It's such a good movie. Wow, I'm so glad you had that experience. And I did think that today you looked like you had a case of stick it to the maniosis.
It's contagious, and I got it at the movie theaters.
Yeah, so you might want to just keep an eye on that.
Obviously, everyone was worried about COVID because, we're living in a pandemic, but they really sanitized the whole place. Everyone was wearing masks, but nobody really remembered that stick it to the maniosis is also highly contagious. It's a rare blood disease. And, it got the best of me.
It got the best of you, for sure. Well, good luck in your recovery.
And if you haven't been to an AMC theater, I don't think $99 is a bad price to rent out an entire theater. Mm-hmm. You bring 10 people, you each pay $10.
You get to choose whatever movie you want to see.
Yeah, so I think if you want to see a new movie that's
in theaters,
it's way more. Yeah. But you can rent it at home for $9. I want to go and watch Mean Girls.
The Butler.
Literally.
I was actually thinking it's probably an amazing movie to see in a theater.
It was gorgeous. Yeah. It was so well done. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to talk about it.
Can't wait to talk about it.
So maybe we just
jump right in because we have so much to say. And also we have if you're listening to the podcast, an interview with a very special guest. Meredith Marks from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City joined us yesterday, and she was everything of the sort. She did choose to engage with us, and
which was such an honor.
Such an honor. So exciting. So enjoy that. And if you're watching on YouTube, head over to the podcast to hear from her. Because
it'll be after.
We're looking at the season holistically and talking about her experience as a
disengager
and just as a housewife, a first-time housewife. And it's all very exciting.
Yeah, she's just a fabulous woman. I was so excited to talk to her.
Yeah. So without further ado.
You think?
I think so.
Fabulous.
Without further ado, it is time for the Fast 5 stories that you need to know before you wake up and take a bite out of your morning toast.
And while you're not incorrect, I do think it's important heading into the weekend that everyone remembers, if you've got a case of the RDH, you know what'll help? Usual Wines.
Oh, yes.
They're for the modern drinker, where each of their bottles is 6.3 ounces, which is a heavy pour, or about a glass and a half of wine. So there's no more pouring wine down the sink when you don't want to finish the bottle. Because of the single-serve format and bottle designs, Usual is always fresh, so you'll have no more flat bubbly or stale rosé. Their wines are all low-carb and have 0 grams of sugar. They have a red blend, a rosé, and a sparkling white wine called Brut. They also have the Usual Spritz, which is a low-alcohol, low-calorie wine spritzer that's made of sparkling wine and guava juice. So it's like a White Claw, but for grown-ups. Each of the servings have just 83 calories. So Usual Wines just keeps everything in mind. They keep the caloric density in mind. They keep the portion size in mind. They've just got wine covered from A to Z, and they offer different types of wine, and there's just no reason that you shouldn't be drinking Usual Wine.
Yeah, they've got wines down to a science.
You said it, not me. Go check out their website, which is www.usualwines.com, and use our discount code TOAST for $8 off your first order and try your first glass on us. Again, that's usualwines.com and use our discount code TOAST for $8 off your first order and try your first glass on us.
Love it. Okay, first story. Ryan Seacrest exits as host of E's Live from the Red Carpet.
I feel like he's really had one foot out the door for the last few years.
I know, but it's crazy that he's making it official, but also it's a good time to make it official when there's really no red carpet. So by the time they all come back, it'll be Ryan who?
Also, this just reminded me that I had the weirdest dream about Juliana Rancic.
Ooh.
She was at this beach birthday party with the Kardashians. It was so bizarre. Why do I dream about these things? I'll never know.
Sounds entertaining.
Sounds like I bring my work home with me.
Yeah, it does. The longtime figure on E's Live from the Red Carpet is stepping away from the award show grind. He said, quote, "After 14 years of hosting E's Live from the Red Carpet, I've decided to move on to new adventures. I'll miss the whole crew that worked so hard behind the scenes, and of course, my amazing partner, Juliana. Thanks to everyone for watching all these years."
That's a big blow for E because they just have not had a good few years in terms of content.
But everything must come to an end. And you know what? It's exciting for whoever's going to come up and fill this spot.
Honestly.
And now there's an opportunity. There's a job open, and they have some really good hosting talent at E, and I look forward to seeing who gets this position. I feel like it'll probably be Jason Kennedy just moving up, but then that means someone gets Jason's spot.
Right. Oh, that's true. I do think that Justin Sylvester is the future Ryan Seacrest of E.
He's the man for the job.
If he doesn't get snatched up by the Today Show, that's how big of a star he is and how good at his job he is. But I also think him and Tanya Rad are this new generation of red carpets. Tanya's been doing E red carpets now for a few years, and it's not always the main thing, but she's they're both getting up there, and I do think that's the future of the network, and I'm so pleased with it. That gives me hope for E. When honestly, for the last remember when they thought Busy Tonight was a good idea? They obviously have a judgment problem.
Yeah, no, but they do really get it right when it comes to hosts, and they have a lot of hosts who are young and coming up who are really, really talented. Obviously, Tanya, Justin, Morgan, Erin Lim, Zuri Hall. There are just so many great people. Carissa, Nina.
Yeah.
So I think that when it comes to hosting, E is still where you want to be.
Yes, no, they've actually done a good job of like transitioning from E-News to Daily Pop. Like their news programming is good, but what they fill the rest of the hours with, like reality shows, they just cannot seem to get it right.
Right. I would imagine, though, that those are two different departments with different heads.
I agree.
And one person's doing a really
One
great
person's
job.
getting fired and one person's not, essentially.
Yeah. So I think this is just exciting hosting news. Goodbye to Ryan Seacrest. He served us well over the years.
So who would you think was the Ryan Seacrest before Ryan Seacrest? Joan Rivers?
No, I feel like the answer... Oh, I guess.
Yeah. Because
But
she is the queen of red carpet. She invented red carpet interviews.
Yeah.
She invented Who Are You Wearing?
Yeah. I'd have to think about it. But yeah, I guess so. But I guess also before E's Live from the Red Carpet, which has been on for 14 years with Ryan, it wasn't as big of a thing as it is right now.
Yeah, but it was Joan.
It was Joan. But
it wasn't
Joan
called.
is in a different league. Like, I don't
Agreed.
compare Joan Rivers to Ryan Seacrest. I just don't.
No, I would never dare do that.
Never dare sully her name like that.
But I do think it's good. Ryan Seacrest has got to give up like a few of his jobs. Like there's truly only so much one person can do. And when we saw him have that like mini stroke on live television, we knew it was time for him to give something up. This is not even the most like labor intensive of his jobs. I do think that like his low workload is not even going to be that much lighter.
Yeah, it's like...
It's 3 times a year.
This is 3 times a year and like not even this year.
Right. So it's like you need to take off one more thing from your plate. Like I just want him to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
I worry about him.
I agree. But this is a good start for him and a great opportunity for someone else. I'm all about it.
What do you think is his best job? Like he does Kelly, he does American Idol, he does the radio.
Yeah. He produces all of the like shows,
Kardashians
and such. But I do think that Live with Kelly and Ryan is a great
spot for him. I think though, like I think Live with Kelly and Ryan could exist without Ryan. I don't think his radio show could exist without him, and I don't think American Idol could exist without him.
Yeah, American Idol is probably the biggest one. Who's watching that?
I'm not gonna lie, like if I were to scroll upon it, I'm just like always on my Netflix at the time when American Idol's on. But I live to watch people sing, especially when they're bad. So like I can understand people who watch American Idol.
I just feel like the percentage of time they actually spend singing in a 2-hour program is like 5%.
That's my problem with those shows, like The Voice. You get so much, like you get a package about someone's life and family and they take them back to the farm. Like it's so much content and barely any of it is actual singing. And it's infuriating. That's why I follow The Voice on TikTok. They put every performance up, a minute of the performance, and it's like watching the whole thing.
100%. I have a story later about Peloton, but this conversation is reminding me of a Peloton ride I did this week with Cody Rigsby, where it was like a lot of Kelly Clarkson songs on the playlist. And he just talks about how America is on the right side of history voting Kelly Clarkson as the first American Idol. Like she was meant to be the first American Idol.
And you know, I think as a country, like we have not been that united in a really long time. And I
agree.
And I think Kelly Clarkson knows that, and that's why she's continuing to spread her love and power.
I totally agree.
No, that's a hilarious like analogy.
We're going to talk about him in a little bit, but you would love him.
You also see that there's like a SoulCycle host who's like getting canceled.
Oh, yes, because she got the vaccine, even though she is clearly not...
Very physically able.
Yeah. And she called herself an educator, like, in order to get it. That's how, like, much she thinks.
And did she tell people that on the SoulCycle
Well, so I think
class?
that I haven't looked into it too much, but from what I understand based on hearsay, so I might be getting it wrong, like, she posted that she got the vaccine, and then people were like, what the fuck, why are you getting the vaccine? And then...
she might be the least eligible person in the country.
Right. And then it turned out that she had said she was an educator in order to get the vaccine. That's what I think.
That's shady. And, like, she is an educator...
Please.
Not,
I'm an educator then.
No, actually, my mother-in-law is an educator for special needs, and she and my father-in-law just got the vaccine.
Wow, that's so exciting.
Just got it yesterday.
That's so exciting.
Ben has been like so worried about them. I feel such a like burden. Like it's just very scary. Like, of course, everyone's afraid of COVID, but like when you're older, it really impacts you more. So I'm so relieved. Like at least like for me a little bit, it feels like the end is near.
Yes,
because they finally got vaccinated. It's so really exciting.
Okay, ready for our next story?
Yes.
Erika, Jayne, and Tom Girardi's $16 million mansion has been burglarized.
What?
Yes.
This is just weird.
This is weird. Erika and Tom's mansion was burglarized last month.
Oh my God, truckers for Tom.
The truckers for Tom are saying, listen cautiously.
No, they said, something's awry. Did you hear that?
Something is amiss.
Something's awry.
Something is not as it seems.
Okay, so
Police received a burglary report late at night on January 22nd, and responding officers discovered signs of forced entry through a broken window. Authorities confirmed to Law 360. Detectives are reportedly unsure of what was stolen from the estate. The Pasadena PD didn't immediately return Page Six's request for comment. Tom has been living alone in the house since Erika moved into a $1.5 million home since they divorced.
Oh, I didn't know that he was still living there. I thought maybe it had been like a seized property.
Yeah, I think that this is just, well, I mean, on the one hand, like, we've come to learn that homes in California get burglarized.
It's a common thing.
It's a common thing, but I just think the timing is suspicious.
Yes, I agree. I mean, the thought of Tom being there alone like makes me so sad without like a burglar was there. Thank God he wasn't harmed. Mm-hmm. It's weird, just given the fact that there's so much unfolding, so much financial questions.
Turmoil.
Yeah, it's just odd timing. But again, it is a really common thing that happens in LA. But I don't know. I definitely feel like there's more here. Do you know what was taken?
No, that was all the details that Page Six had.
Do you think it was Erika just trying to get like the rest of her stuff back?
Like, that is a thought that crossed my mind.
It's Mickey Minden like in a ski mask, like looking for the Chanel.
Yeah, that's a thought that crossed my mind.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that that's what happened.
Mickey's so ride or die, he would do that shit for Erika.
100%.
And we stand a loyal friend and stylist and choreographer.
We do.
And producer.
We really do.
He wears many hats for Erika.
He does. He's Mr. Hats.
My favorite thing about watching old reality television, like no matter what it is that you can find Mickey Minden in an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, America's Next Top Model. Like, he has been on everything. Mm-hmm. And that's just fun to see.
He dances with Christine Quinn these days.
Oh, yes, he does.
Yeah.
In that Playhouse
He's like,
thing.
if you're not a fabulous reality star, don't talk to me.
I don't want it.
Okay, next story. Exciting news. The Super Bowl is this weekend. I will be making a homemade spinach artichoke dip, and The Weeknd will not be having any special guests during his performance. And the truckers endorse that decision.
That is crazy. Like, people are trying to work here, truckers.
No, but they're like, listen, Weeknd, it's all you. You got this.
I saw some promo videos and stuff, like, getting me hyped. And honestly, it worked. I was feeling excited.
He confirmed in an interview on the NFL Network on Thursday that he has no special guests lined up to join him on stage during his performance.
That's good. I like, just let someone live.
Let the town speak for itself.
Agreed.
I like this, and I like that I know beforehand. That way I'm not like, wait, who, where?
Yeah.
And then I'm like weirdly disappointed, even though it's a fabulous show.
Yeah. When we were at the Super Bowl.
Wow, they really just want everyone to know. Okay. These are truckers for the weekend.
Can I stand up, open the window, and tell that guy to shut the fuck up?
No, because he won't hear you.
I think he will.
Then you're screaming into the show.
No, and my mic is over here.
He's just a trucker for the weekend. Like, let him stand.
If he does it again, I'm getting up, okay?
Let him stand.
So when we went to the Super Bowl in Minnesota, and Justin Timberlake was the disgraceful Super Bowl performer.
Yes.
Did he bring anyone out, like, in sync?
He brought out the hologram of Prince.
Right, okay. And then the night before the Super Bowl, we were partying and we ran into Joey Fatone. And we, like, 100% thought that there was going to be an NSYNC reunion. Do you remember that?
Yes, and he told us that there would not be.
Right, no, but I thought he was just being coy because, like, it's a secret. I'm like,
right.
Joey!
Right.
But, like, I literally have a picture of us and Joey Fatone, and I thought because we discovered he was in Minneapolis, I thought that we were, like, in on a secret. And, of course, he couldn't say it, but no, he was not lying. He was being 100% truthful that he was not performing. And I actually think, like, some people, like Justin Timberlake, like, could have used NSYNC.
Oh, you know what? I totally agree. I think that would have given his performance the oomph that it needed.
A little edge.
Instead, he got Selfie Kid and, like, Backpack Boy, right? Those are
not both... Backpack Boy, but
where's
he got
Backpack Boy from?
Selfie Kid. Kid is actually, like, went viral on the internet. He invented the floss dance.
No, but, like, I feel like he was a background
he came
dance.
Out, Katy Perry.
Katy Perry, yeah.
Yeah, but no, Selfie Kid was invented, like, no, he was literally forced on us during, like, when things go viral, like, it's very organic.
Yeah.
Literally nobody, like, cared.
No.
But some, like, talent manager in LA, like, saw it and was like, I'm going to make this kid a star. And just, like, put him everywhere. And, like, it wasn't even a natural thing. Like, nobody remembered it.
No, nobody was like, I want to know more about this kid.
Yeah, and it wasn't a thing that went viral on Twitter, like, Left Shark. Like,
yeah.
You can't make viral moments like that happen. And there was some machine behind Selfie Kid, like, trying to make him
the next
happen.
Mason Ramsey.
Yeah, and it was so not going to happen. No disrespect to him, but I wonder what he's up to.
Yeah,
I wonder what he's up to.
Anyways, The Weeknd said, I've been reading a lot of rumors. There wasn't any room to fit it in the narrative and the story I was telling in the performance, so there was no special guests. No. So all of our speculation from last week, if you're rewatching old episodes, just skip over that part.
We talked, like, at length.
And ultimately, I'm here for this decision. I'm really excited for his performance, and I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl because I'm like going to be doing it differently because I think it's just going to be like me, Zach, and Bruce and my spinach artichoke dip. And I invited you over if you'd like to come.
Yeah, I didn't know it was like a family thing. Maybe now I won't come.
No. I think it would be fun. Bring Theo,
No,
and that way
okay.
the boys could play.
Okay.
And we need to place our picks for once and for all.
I did.
You did. Who's yours?
What? Kansas City.
Okay, I'm going Bucks.
I don't like that we're on different sides. And I know I'm going to lose.
No, I don't really feel great about my choice because I feel like it's
obvious.
I feel like I'd rather pick Kansas City and be wrong than pick the Bucks and be wrong.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
No, my pick is officially in. I'm curious if The Weeknd is going to perform his Super Bowl in his plastic surgery fudge.
Oh.
Because that's like fake, right?
Yeah. No, that's like part of his new album. So I think no, because I feel like he'll be performing songs from all of his albums.
And these events are like historic. Like it's not like a tour. Like these live in a time in history. Like
yes.
It's not to represent like a certain era.
It's not like a moment in time.
Yeah. So I don't think he'll be doing the crazy face. I hope he doesn't.
I hope he doesn't also.
It scares me.
Okay, so that's your pick, Kansas City.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pick Bucks.
Yeah, no, I want to be on Jackson Mahomes' side, and that is...
He needs you.
No, he does. I feel like very defensive over Jackson Mahomes because, yes, could he be doing more to help himself with the cringy content? Yes, but kids are so fucking mean to him, and I won't stand for it. And he does not let it bother him. Like, he just keeps going and makes more cringy and even more, like, embarrassing videos. And I kind of respect the fact, like, I wish I gave so little of a shit about what people thought about me. It's really admirable. We could all learn something from Patrick Mahomes' brother.
Yes. Okay, next up, a little biz fitness news. We have
A little biz fitness news.
We have two stories, two Peloton headline-worthy news stories.
Okay.
First, Peloton is spending $100 million to reduce delivery delays.
Oh, that's their only problem.
Yeah, well, there just is so much demand right now, but if you order a bike right now, it says it won't come until April. But now they are working OT to remedy the situation. They are putting $100 million into speeding up deliveries, including improving its air and ocean shipping and doubling the size of its customer service support to help assuage anger.
You know what? This is good, but they should have done this sooner because I think part of the reason why the launch of SoulCycle bike was even remotely successful is because people chose it over waiting 3 to 4 months for a Peloton. It wasn't necessarily that they liked SoulCycle better. It was like, which one? They're the same thing. Which one can I get faster?
Yeah.
And a lot of people got them in quarantine, which was when Peloton's delivery window was the biggest it ever was, and when SoulCycle launched, and they had like really quick delivery. So I know a few people who only got the SoulCycle bike because it didn't have that waiting list.
Oh, I hadn't heard of that. I feel like SoulCycle bikes did well because there's so much demand for at-home workout equipment right now. But I feel like Peloton is just through the roof.
No, Peloton's killing it. Like
Peloton to the moon.
SoulCycle like is nothing compared to Peloton. But I think a lot of people bought SoulCycle bikes instead of Pelotons just because of the weight. Not because they preferred one bike over the other.
Got it. Well, hopefully now the wait times are shorter. Everyone can get to riding. I got back on my Peloton this week, and I just can't believe it took me so long. But I needed a break, and I needed to come back and like appreciate it.
Yep.
And also, I was wondering, but another story, Peloton instructor Cody Rigsby, who's my favorite instructor, reveals that he has COVID as he cancels his popular class. Oh. So this is so interesting because, a lot of people, celebrities, have COVID, but because he has it, like he can't teach and he still isn't feeling better, and it's probably going to take a while before he can get back on the bike and teach, because it takes so much effort and energy to do a Peloton ride, but to do it while you're having the most energy, talking, keeping everyone up, like
singing.
You can't really be having any sort of health compromise.
There are definitely like celebrities who have had COVID and are lying about it and just not telling anyone. And there are certain celebrities who can't do that. Like if Kelly Ripa she can't. Like she goes into a studio and does a live show every day. So it's actually interesting to see people who are open and honest about it, but also because they can't not be. Like he's obviously not going to be at work for the next 3 weeks.
Yes, he said, unfortunately, I've been dealing with COVID-19 for the past 2 weeks. He went on to encourage his followers to take the virus seriously. He said, I've never been more sick in my entire life. So
that's crazy because he's like peak health fitness.
Right. He said he still has lingering symptoms, including extreme fatigue and a cough, adding that for the most part, I'm doing a lot better. So I just wonder when he will be able to teach again. And I was wondering where he had been because I came back to the bike and there weren't that many new Cody classes.
Right.
But I didn't think anything of it.
I also think it's interesting how like Peloton has created a new tier of celebrity, which is like celebrity Peloton teachers. Cody and Robin NYC are like two of the most famous Peloton instructors. And I just think it's so interesting how like that's now a level of celebrity. Like he got COVID and it's a news story.
100%. And like, while I felt this way while I was Pelotoning, a few months ago, and I feel this way again, where it's like, if you Peloton every single day and you choose the same few instructors, like these people are such a big part of your life. It's like almost like a podcast. Yeah. And Cody is just so funny. I was doing a class with him this week and he was talking about how when he was in school, he used to have to sell magazines for the school, like Nickelodeon magazines.
Right. Yeah, like highlights.
This con man used to come to our school every week, and I was just like laughing so like.
No, that's true. Like, where do those funds go?
No, and like why are the kids selling magazines?
No, it's so true. On my TikTok, there's like a Cody Rigsby fan page that like literally pops up all the time to like clips of him like being funny, and he's actually very personable. And like, when did I get married? 2017. So like 4 years ago, I did this photo shoot with The Knot, which was like, influential women who are engaged. And I was one of them. And there was this like beautiful WNBA player, and then Robin NYC. And that's where I met her. And I honestly knew her before now. Everyone knows she's famous, but I knew her before.
Robin is my second favorite Peloton instructor.
And she just
they're tied 1 and 2 because it's just like two different vibes. Like Cody is hysterical and Robin is like so inspiring.
Right.
So sometimes you need one or the other.
Do you want to laugh or you want to cry?
Right. No, literally, if I've ever cried on the bike, it's from a Robin class.
No,
she's so wonderful.
And I think I read somewhere she just gave birth, or she's like about to give birth.
Yes. So
Love
it's very exciting. We're wishing Cody the best, and I'm just glad to be back in the Peloton family. Like it's hard to get back on that bike,
Mm-hmm.
But I did 4 workouts.
I've never gotten on it, so I can imagine how hard it is to get back on it.
I worked out 4 days this week on the bike, and I'm feeling good.
Yeah, no, I worked out 7 days, so you'll catch up to me soon.
And also, just a reminder, if you are a toaster who uses the Peloton app, use the hashtag Pelotosters. That way, when we're riding, I filter by who else is a Pelotoaster, and we all high five and see each other.
Cute.
And that makes it a lot more fun.
Yeah, it does. And then it's like you don't want to like do bad because then it's like everyone will see your output or whatever. It's like so embarrassing.
But I don't even feel that way when I'm riding with my Pelotosters. It's like I know they're encouraging me.
Family.
It's family. And also, if you want to follow me, no, it really is. It's been like a big part of my
journey,
just my year. If you want to follow me on Peloton, I always get questions. My username is Jackie OW. So,
Jackie Ow.
Because I'm in pain while I'm riding. No, because it's my initials. But follow me there. I think I do a really good job of class curation because I'm so big on music, and I think that makes the class like so. And I don't know if a lot of people spend the time to look at every single playlist for each class, but I always do, and I always choose the best playlist. So I think that I do a good job of picking classes.
Yes, I mean, I've only done SoulCycle in my life like probably 10 times, like I'm being serious, like in my entire life. And if it's like the shittiest music or music I don't know, like it's the most miserable experience. But if you're listening to like sickening music, it actually is like so empowering.
Yes.
Again, I've only done it a handful of times, but I just gotta get the seat right. Like I can't deal with that like big stick on my ass.
Yeah.
Speaking of stick on my ass,
it gets easier, but
I'm looking forward to talking about the Butler and Cuba getting Junior's presents in the movie.
Right.
Were those the Fast Five? Or is there more?
No, we have one more.
Sorry.
Is that okay?
Yeah. No,
our fifth and final is
I do want to let everyone know something.
Yes, because our fifth and final is going to lead into a Southern Charm recap. So if you have something to say it now.
No, I do. And what I have to say is that Snow is the sponsor of today's episode. With over 500,000 happy customers, including, we're obsessed with celebrities. Rob Gronkowski loves Snow, Floyd Mayweather, and Miss Universe. So it is teeth whitening designed to be pain-free for people with sensitive teeth. This is me. This is Ben. Like, when you get that sensitive thing and like your whole body freezes.
You can feel it in your toes.
Yeah, it's literally the worst.
It starts in my toes. Makes me crinkle my nose.
So over $1.4 million have been spent in research and development to create the strongest teeth whitening kit possible from Snow. It comes with a 6-month supply of whitening serum, so anytime your smile needs a touch-up, you're good to go. The power of a white smile is, it's powerful. I mean, it gives you confidence, makes you feel good about yourself. And if you have sensitive teeth, so you like cringe when you see people like chewing on ice, which I do, it's so painful, then you know that sometimes teeth whitening kits or going to the dentist, like it's not good because it leaves you in a lot of pain. So Snow basically has all the effects of teeth whitening that are out there, but then they really focus on having it be for people with sensitive teeth. I mean, Jackie literally can't even brush her teeth with anything other than like sensitive toothpaste. Like,
yeah,
it's a real problem, and that's why a lot of people don't whiten their teeth. So it's good to know about Snow, which is like a company dedicated to whitening your teeth and also protecting the sensitivities of your teeth. So if you have sensitive teeth like us, you need to go to trysnow.com right now and use our code TOAST for 15% off. Again, that's trysnow.com. Trysnow.com, and the code is TOAST for 15% off. Snow has spent over $1 million to create a teeth whitening kit designed for people with sensitive teeth. We decided to put them to the test. The gel definitely works. And I can say I've had no sensitivity like outbursts, which is just, oh my God, like you feel it in your brain. It's the worst. So trysnow.com, code TOAST. Highly recommend.
Okay, fifth and final story. I just realized that it's literal fake news.
Oh my God, that's the worst.
I know, because it's an E-News story that says Kristin Cavallari proves she's Team J-Lo after A-Rod and Madison LeCroy revelation, because Justin Anderson posted a video of them working out. Like,
okay, I actually don't think this is fake news.
No, with the song Let's Get Loud. But then Kristin put on her story, and I had seen her story, and I saw this story, and I just realized how they intersect. She wrote on her story, so a friend posts a year-old video of us working out, and now I'm being accused of throwing shade. Fuck off, tabloids. I'm so sick of your lies and bullshit and clickbait. Can everyone stop trying to drag me into this drama mess, please? It has nothing to do with me, and I want no part of it. So maybe
I so disagree with her.
Maybe Justin Anderson was being shady.
I don't think Justin Anderson posts anything publicly.
Of Kristin taking a stance in J-Lo.
Oh, yeah.
No.
That's fake news. But I do think that there's a little bit of lies but in Kristin's Instagram story, because like anything Justin Anderson posts about this or with Kristin like is approved by Kristin. Like they're best friends. This was such an intentional, not shade even, but just like, so it was something.
It was something.
So just to deny it completely is a lie.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It was a little shade. Like there's something. She didn't take a stand. Like it's not that serious. But
she didn't post the video. You know, it's too.
The tabloid took it too extreme. But also Kristin's defense is full of lies. Like there's something there. Like don't lie.
Okay, well,
what a random song to choose. It's not like it's a
current number one. Like everyone's
just
trending.
Yeah, no,
it's a great song though.
It's probably my favorite song, and I remember it being my favorite song at Bat Mitzvah season, because that was like really when the song came out, like when we were like 13, 14, and I just like could not wait for that song to come on. It's the best song.
It's the best song. But a little Southern Charm recap, because tell me what happened. I expect that you'll watch it. So the A-Rod stuff doesn't come up again in the episode, but we lead off with Madison and Austin talking about their relationship. And Austin had said that just the night before he watched all the episodes, he hadn't watched it yet. And so I think that he had, this enlightening moment the night before where it's like, I have to be done with Madison. She does not care about me. The way she talks about me to other people is clear that I'm just
a doormat.
Nothing to her. She doesn't care about me. And so he really has this moment where he's like, you're a monster. And I think that their relationship is so toxic. And I think Austin is clearly very wounded by it, but the way that Craig, Austin, and a little bit of Shep came after Madison last night, it's like no situation should ever be 3-on-1 in a relationship between two people.
No, I agree. It's always been, it's not really ever been a question about are Madison and Austin good for each other? I think most people would agree that they're not. It's just nobody's business. And I love Craig, and I do think he's not wrong in what he's saying, but it's literally none of his business.
Right. Also, Craig is clear in the second part of the episode. He's extremely drunk. And he's just saying,
during the reunion?
During the reunion. They're all drinking during the reunion. I don't know. He's not belligerent, but it's clear that he's just drunk. He can't stop talking. Everyone's like, shut up, please.
Oh my God.
And also, I think that it's also clear that he has heard the fact that he's pretty much right usually on the show. So I think he just
he's getting high
on drunk and knows that thinks that whatever he's saying is right, and it's just can't shut
drunk
up.
On his own power.
Right. And so I think he needed to take
several seats.
But I still love him, and it was really, really funny, but it was just a lot, and he was getting so involved in everyone else's drama and was like, Craig, please shut up.
No, that's so annoying.
Yeah, it was annoying, but also very funny.
Yeah.
A majority of the rest of the episode was talking about Catherine's drama this year and the way that everybody else reacted to it and what everyone sort of wanted from her. And it's very clear at the point where they're filming, the season was very frustrating to watch because it felt like she wasn't taking it seriously. She wouldn't have a conversation about it. She was just dodging questions. But at the reunion, she has to sit there and talk about it. And I felt like she finally really understood the impact of what had happened. And she felt so badly about everything. And I felt like, that moment of her being contrite and apologetic, came.
And it was genuine.
And it was definitely genuine.
It's literally a year so late.
Her and Leva, even off stage, had a moment of seeing each other.
Okay.
And Catherine also accused Leva of, using her mistake to come up on this show. And
it does appear that way via the editing, but
yes.
I feel like now as an informed viewer, I don't think that's the case.
I don't think that's the case. And Leva just is constantly insisting, no, Catherine, I am your friend. I am not your enemy here.
Right.
I just want to see you learn from this and move forward. And I think that the whole episode, it was just really... it ended on just a really positive note. Also, they talked a lot about like the legacy of slavery in Charleston and how, you know, some viewers, when you're watching the show, it's like you look at some of the cast members and it's like, did your families own slaves?
It's a valid question.
And so they have a conversation about the history and legacy of all of it. And I think that they came to a really good place in the end of like just the things that we can do to be positive moving forward and undo a lot of that hurt.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's why I feel like I was so disappointed in Catherine this season, obviously because of the emoji thing, but more so because like it was like this moment in Charleston and the Calhoun statue was like such a conversation topic, and it actually did end up getting taken down. And it just would have been powerful for Catherine, a direct descendant of John Calhoun, to have been a part of it. And like that was disappointing.
Well, they mentioned it on the reunion, and she said that she was so happy to see it come down. She actually loved watching it on the show and seeing how much it meant to Leva. She completely understood it and felt really good about the decision. And so I feel like for a very difficult season for a number of reasons, like the second part of the whole reunion really covered everything, and I just felt like it was a really big learning process for everyone. Yeah. So I think you should watch it. I thought it was
I'm gonna watch it when I get home. I just got drunk last night and I got home so late.
No worries. You're a best-selling author. Things happen.
Yeah, no, I've been like so messy this week. I didn't watch Salt Lake. Well, I watched Salt Lake City before talking to Meredith Marks, but not in time for yesterday's episode. I didn't watch this. I forgot to edit the audio. Like I've just been a mess. I promise I'll be back on my shit on Monday. I'm just celebrating this morning. I also made 3 Wall Street Journal's bestsellers lists. Oh, did I say this already?
You didn't go into it. If you want to just like, if you want to hit us with the numbers,
you know, I made.
Why don't you hit us with the numbers?
Sure,
because
sure.
it's like, you know,
No,
the numbers are impressive.
You're 100%. Okay, here. So, of course, everyone knows I made number 12 New York Times bestsellers list in nonfiction. Number fucking 12. I've also made 3 Wall Street Journal lists. I've made number 6 in hardcover nonfiction, number 3 in nonfiction ebooks, and number 5 in nonfiction combined.
Wow.
Then, of the 150 books, best-selling books in the country, according to USA Today, it was the 22nd most popular book, and that's all genre, kids, hardcover, non-cover, all the stuff. I also made the Publishers Weekly list, the number 10 overall, number 5 Publishers Weekly in hardcover nonfiction. And then I made 2 Canadian lists. I have to say Canadian toasters are fucking chef's kiss. Number 6, and apparently these are big deals. Number 6, well, of course, like that's what people tell me. They're not going to tell me it's not a big deal. Number 6 on the Globe and Mail hardcover nonfiction list, and number 5 on the Toronto Star hardcover nonfiction. Actually, I've heard of the Toronto Star.
Wow.
So thank you to all these wonderful organizations who saw me. I actually tagged Wall Street Journal books like in my thing, and they responded to me.
Oh my God, cuties.
Hearts. I said, thank you for this prestigious honor.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
So you were busy.
No, I was so busy, and then I like got drunk and just like things happened. But I did watch The Butler.
Yes, but just a quick Salt Lake City recap of the episode, which I actually thought, like, considering it was an amazing season and this was the finale episode, it wasn't a very good episode.
And I felt like the finale came out of nowhere.
Yeah. But the big, pinnacle moment was Heather and Jen talking, and I felt like, one, like Jen Shaw finally understands how frustrating it is to apologize and have someone like not forgive you.
But I don't think she's self-aware enough to realize like that's what she's been doing the whole season.
Right, but she's like that she is stuck in that position now. And also I just felt like Heather was like not letting it go. It was also her event and she was making it such a big deal. And it's like Jen apologized as much as she possibly could in that moment. And it was like what Meredith said on the episode, and she also says it in our interview. It's like you apologize and you can be forgiven and open to moving forward. It's just those actions moving forward need to reflect your words.
Yeah.
And so only time will tell. So that's my thoughts on Salt Lake City finale.
I'm very much looking forward to the reunions. Like
me too.
Because Mary hasn't been with the group all year.
For reunions lately.
And by the way, it's the best part of the season. Even a bad season, a good season. I first of all love seeing them in a different element, especially a new show. Like you really get to know them and how they talk and how they act and how they fight. And I love seeing Andy. Like it's really, and they ask like the shadiest fucking questions.
Yeah.
I love reunions.
I just want to say another thing that made the Southern Charm reunion so great is that Andy is so interested and involved in this show. Like he definitely, I don't get the feeling that he doesn't watch it. I think he has a lot of friendships with a lot of the people on the cast and he has opinions, and it feels like sometimes he's just one of like the cast members.
One of them, yeah.
Whereas on some of the Real Housewives franchises, it's like he's very much the boss man, and and I just thought that the rapport,
they feel like equals.
The rapport was really enjoyable.
I agree. That's a great call. Okay, we have to talk about The Butler. Like I've been dying to talk about it.
Okay, yes, please.
I loved this movie, and I feel like I was thinking like, of course I was excited to do Toast Movie of the Week, but like the fact that this movie, like that I might not have seen this movie, so grateful to have seen this movie. And I was a little disappointed when I learned afterwards, like, it's based loosely off a guy named Eugene, but like most of the things that happened in the movie like didn't happen in real life. But whatever. I can suspend disbelief and just enjoy this movie that was so fucking star-studded. I could not believe it. They covered so much time in history, so there was just so many people who needed to be cast.
Yes.
When the movie opened and Mariah Carey was his mom, I was shocked. I wasn't expecting to see her.
No, totally. As a student of history, like it focuses on like a 30-year historical period, and I just thought it was so interesting. And also, I was just talking about this on the Redheads. I love when like a book I read or a show or a TV movie that I watch like informs the next thing that I'm watching, and I feel like I know more about what I'm watching because of the last thing. Mm-hmm. So I felt like with this movie, there were so many other mini movies within it, like Selma. I felt like it was reminding me certain moments of Black Klansman, even
yes, me too.
In the 80s with South Africa and apartheid. I was reminded of The Color of Friendship
and The Crown.
And then also in the beginning when Mariah Carey's in it, she talks. I just read her book a few months ago, and she talks about how big of a moment that was for her to be included in this movie,
right?
And like, for Lee Daniels to
have
her in it. And I felt like so many things that I had previously watched or read were just a part of this movie.
Yeah, that's really, really interesting. For me, like the biggest takeaway I took from the movie was like, of course, like I think it's amazing that like I was alive and like living in the era when we had our first Black president, and that's amazing. But I didn't really think about how you think of like slavery and Jim Crow as like so long ago. And it's not, it never even occurred to me that there were people who saw Obama get elected who were born on plantations, like the story, like, and I didn't know they were going to cover so much time in the movie, but when it literally flashed to 2008 and he's wearing an Obama shirt, I couldn't believe it. And that's when I really, really got choked up, because it's like, I think no matter, you know, your politics, like to see the story of someone who was born on a fucking plantation, who then got to grow up and see a Black man become president, like, that's crazy. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure he never in his lifetime thought that he was going to see something like that.
Yeah.
And so I actually love that they covered so much of the movie, and I think they did so much time, and I think they did an amazing job of aging everyone, like Oprah and Forrest Whitaker.
Yes.
It was just and also like they did a great job of like setting the scene. It was fabulous and interesting to learn about what goes on in the White House. Like, it was just like this inside
that they had
look
like 2 hours
to inauguration.
Yeah.
And just like the different first ladies. It was just fascinating. I just loved the movie.
Right. From a historical perspective, like seeing all of these different presidents, like seeing Lyndon B. Johnson on
take a dump. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck was that? Like, no, but just getting a little bit more of every person's personality. And of course, like the castings for a lot of these historical figures were like so on point.
Minka Kelly as Jackie O and James Marsden as JFK, like, need their own biopic.
Yeah.
It was just
Robin Williams as President Eisenhower. There were so many.
Professor Snape as
Alan
Reagan.
Rickman as Ronald Reagan, and John Cusack as Richard Nixon.
Yes, who was such a freak. And then I loved, even though like I cannot stand Cuba Gooding Jr. and the character he played in the movie is actually like loosely based off of him because he was like gross. But Lenny Kravitz, like Terrence Howard, I couldn't believe how like literally everyone had turned around. I think it might be the most star-studded movie I've ever seen in my life.
I agree.
And Forrest Whitaker was unbelievable. I'm sure he won an Oscar or a few. He was incredible. Like, just so good. And I really, another thing I took away from the movie that I found to be so interesting is how he and his son, you know, had just completely differing opinions on how to exist as like a Black man in a white world, where like for Forrest Whitaker, who was born on a plantation, like what he had was enough. Like, he was just grateful to be off the plantation, whereas his son, who was born much later, it wasn't enough to have this like fake equality. Like, he wanted more, and rightfully so. And that scene where they're on the bus and they see a light and they're like, what is that? And it was a burning cross. Oh my God. It just gave me such chills. Like, when the second they realized it, and then it was too late for them to turn around. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was if you haven't seen it, and just, that's the type of movie that like changes how you see the world.
I completely agree.
I loved it so much.
I loved it so much. I'm so glad that we watched it. There were so many moments in it that just gave me chills, made me think like,
And it gave me a lot of good historical context. Like, I'm not the smartest when it comes to history and like all these presidents. I'm like, who was good, who was bad?
Yeah, and then I was doing like some Googling just to see more about certain things.
Yeah, and you know what I also took away from the movie that I really liked was that like all these presidents like were assholes. Like all of them. They like said one thing and then they did another, and like they were all just pieces of shit. And I think the only one, and I didn't even, you know what else I really didn't think about, had like, I think one of the only presidents who gave like African Americans hope at the time was JFK. Because like when JFK got shot, after he made that very powerful speech, Cecil and his family, like they were just devastated.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like these presidents were assholes who did fucking nothing.
Yeah, but then I was like, well, why did JFK get shot?
By the way, me too.
So I went researching and like I really couldn't find an answer, and apparently it's like a conspiracy.
Well, it felt like it had something to do with his speech.
No, but then when you watch, like we watched The Irishman last year, and it's like there's like mafia stuff.
Oh, you're right.
And I think there was, when I was reading, I was on like Wikipedia and like history.com. I was really trying to understand, like no one could tell me like what was the motive.
Because
and
it seemed like
the person, Lee Harvey Oswald, who killed JFK, was also killed like that night.
Yeah.
Like by a nightclub person.
But the movie made it seem like he was killed for his like radical thoughts on racial equality.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that's the case, because like I said, I'm really not a history buff, but the movie just taught me so much about American history that I'm like honestly embarrassed to not know.
Yeah.
But it was just unbelievable.
If you
10 out of 10.
Watch it. If you've never seen it and you didn't get a chance to watch it this week, like this is a movie that...
And I feel like we just stumbled upon it because I haven't heard of it as like the best movie ever. It's just like a great movie. I can't believe more people aren't talking about it. I know it came out like 6 years ago, but so good.
So incredibly good. It's a movie I'm going to be thinking about for a very long time.
Yes, I couldn't sleep last night. Like I was just thinking about it the whole night.
Yeah, and I just feel like I'm so used to reading. I don't know if you feel this way now that you're reading on a Kindle, but do you ever use Kindle highlights where you see
very
something?
Rarely.
Okay, well, when I'm reading like a really great book, I'll see something that just sticks with me and I highlight it. And now when I'm watching like wonderful movies or television shows, it's like in my mind, I'm like, wait, like someone says something and I'm like, can I highlight that?
Yeah.
So that's how I felt about that movie, like so many highlights.
That's also the type of, oh my God, excuse me, movie I watched with subtitles because I just didn't want to miss any important factoids.
Totally agree. I've been watching a lot of things with subtitles recently.
It's our old age. I agree. I do it too.
I think it's our old age. I don't know. I think pretty much anything that's not reality TV, I watch with subtitles now, just because I just want to make sure that I'm fully understanding everything, that I miss nothing.
Same, sis. So we will sign another movie on Monday. I just saw that February 12th, Whitney Houston and Brandy's Cinderella is coming to Disney Plus. So that'll definitely be a future movie of the week, but we don't have one picked for next week. We'll announce it on Monday. So if you have recommendations, please feel free to drop them in our comments section.
We've gotten some really great recs.
Yeah, but other than that, have an amazing weekend. Enjoy our next interview with Queen Meredith Marks. You're going to love it. And after that, the weekend's in front of you. So enjoy it, embrace it, respect it.
Happy Super Bowl. Next time you see us, we'll know which one of us is the big winner. Should we place a little bet between the two of us?
Okay.
$50.
$50. Shake on it. Clammy hands. Guys, have a great weekend. Enjoy the Meredith Marks interview. We'll see you on Monday.
Bye.
Bye.